In tonight's headlines, more than 18,000 people attend a concert at the Kowloon Stadium in a test run for future mega events. Chief Executive John Lee takes a jog on the soon-to-open North Point harbourfront boardwalk, calling it one of the best places to take in the views of Hong Kong Island. And Secretary for Housing Winnie Ho is confident that a legislation criminalising the serious misuse of public housing will be passed by the end of this year.
Around 18,000 spectators were welcomed at the Kowloon Sports Park's main stadium for a charity concert, the first trial of a non-sporting event held at venue. Originally set to start at 6 p.m., the concert was delayed for 35 minutes as the organizers needed more time to get ready. But once the performing artists appeared on the stage, the atmosphere inside the stadium heated up immediately. Earlier in the day, some spectators arrived as early as 3 hours before the show started, entering through various gates according to their seats. This man in a wheelchair, who arrived at around 4 p.m., said that he and his wife followed the signages from the MTR station to the venue. They also found that both Kowloon Station and Song Wong Toi Station provided accessible paths to the venue, which is really good. This concertgoer said spectators were asked to arrive by 4 p.m., but the concert started at 6 p.m., leaving her with 2 hours of wait time. Same as the previous test events at the park, ticket holders could not bring long umbrellas, water bottles, and professional camera equipment into the main stadium. As for the first test concert, there are also size restrictions on fence light banners. Secretary for Security Chris Tang arrived to inspect the venue, saying that many venues worldwide prohibit bringing water bottles for safety reasons. That's why we advise the public not to bring them, he added. Also present at the venue were Cultural, Sports and Tourism Chief Rosanna Law and Sports Commissioner Tony Choi. The concert lasted for about 1.5 hours. Special buses to various districts and increasing MTR train frequencies were deployed to accommodate living spectators when the concert ended. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Surprised morning joggers found themselves joined by Chief Executive John Lee along the harbourfront in North Point as the city chief took a tour down the soon-to-open western section of the East Coast Boardwalk this morning. Lee said Hong Kong is a beautiful place to be called home, highlighting that once the entire harbourfront promenade is completed, seamlessly connecting Island West and East, people can stroll, jog or pedal along the harbour with ease. Running alongside Lee, this young man said he will visit the promenade more as he lives nearby, adding that the expanded running route from Fortress Hill to North Point offers a longer stretch for joggers. This young man shared his surprise over the chief executive's impromptu appearance. Lee also engaged with citizens at the East Coast Park precinct. Asking a Form 3 student his favorite subject, science, Lee highlighted Hong Kong's need for more scientific talent, adding that the city is currently excelling in the innovation and science fields.
How do you find this environment?
Taking a sweet detour, Lee talked to domestic helpers enjoying their day off in the park, sampling their homemade desserts.
Not too sweet. Good.
The waterfront promenade, spanning about 2 kilometers, promises a scenic pedestrian walkway beneath the island eastern corridor. With the western section linking Fortress Hill to North Point set to open on January 26th, citizens can look forward to the gradual unveiling of the remaining parts throughout the year. The city chief then wrapped up his hour-long visit by wishing residents a healthy year of the snake. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
While the government is seeking to criminalize serious misuse of public housing, Secretary for Housing Winnie Ho confessed that stronger actions should have been taken sooner to protect good tenants. Taking to the airwaves, Ho noted that previous enforcement efforts, like issuing notice to quit, were not strong enough, leaving offenders think they could get away with it. Therefore, they proposed amendments to strengthen the crackdown on public housing misuse, with maximum penalties of $500,000 and 1 year behind bars. As the authority planned to consult the Legislative Council next month, Ho said they have already gathered feedback from various political parties, expressing confidence in completing the legislative process this year. Meanwhile, the Housing Minister revealed that over 200 reports had been received just 3 days after launching the Anti-Housing Abuse Award. Ho highlighted a case in which an elderly tenant reported that there were many strangers with a bad attitude in one of the units, causing nuisance to the residents nearby. Hearing her story made me think we should have acted sooner to protect our good residents, Ho said. The housing chief added that the authority will act fair and reasonable when handling the reported cases, with relatively minor cases receiving warnings and an appeals mechanism in place. I believe most residents did not report abuse cases just for the $3,000 reward, but to protect public housing resources, Ho noted. While Ho acknowledged that combating the misuse of public housing may help reduce waiting time to some extent, she reiterated that the target waiting time for 2026 to 27 remains at 4.5 years. Evelyn Bai, Cable News. The government pledged to collaborate closely with Thai authorities to ensure the safe return of the SAR residents who were lured to and detained in Southeast Asian countries. Speaking to iCable News program Last Talk, Secretary for Security Chris Tang said the authorities will keep contact with families of the victims, who often have chances to reach out to their loved ones. Every contact is crucial for our investigation. We aim to use any leads we can to bring these victims home as quickly as possible, he noted. Tang added that not all successful return cases involve ransom. While some cases has engaged police or militaries, he refrained from disclosing details due to security reasons. The security chief revealed that 2/3 of the victims were scammed by online or social media advertisements, while the rest were lured by intermediaries met in entertainment venues, prompting the authorities to enhance anti-scam publicity at the airport and entertainment venues. Meanwhile, as the emerging drug space oil will be listed as a dangerous drug on February 14th, Tang pointed out that related cases doubled last year, with 80% involving youths under 21 years old. It is necessary to raise penalties, as the effects of such substances are harmful and even life-threatening, Tang warned, citing 3 fatalities linked to space oil. He stated that police can conduct rapid tests on individuals suspected of vaping space oil through e-cigarettes and can make on-the-spot arrests once confirmed. Currently, there are no plans to distribute rapid testing kits to teachers or social workers. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
After intense negotiations, the Israeli Security Cabinet approved a ceasefire and hostage deal with Palestinian group Hamas, which could possibly pave the way for an end to the 15-month-long conflict in the Gaza Strip. But far-right Israeli politicians voted against the proposal. Israel's hardline National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir said the deal includes the release of murderous Palestinian terrorists who are serving life sentences in Israeli jails. Families of hostages held by Hamas said they finally have some hope of seeing their loved ones who have been held captive for over 450 days. Starting tomorrow, the phase deal is expected to secure the release of 33 Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners over the next 6 weeks. Israel says 94 hostages are still being held by Hamas, of whom 34 are presumed dead. Most of the Gaza Strip has been reduced to rubble since Israel invaded the besieged enclave in October 2023. The population of 2.3 million has also been displaced, and there are severe shortages of food, fuel, medicine, and shelter. Much needed aid is expected to flow into Gaza once the ceasefire takes effect and Israeli forces withdraw from Palestinian territory. But there are concerns that the fragile truce will not hold for the second phase, which is yet to be negotiated. Sachin Katwe, Cable News.
President Xi Jinping and his soon-to-be American counterpart Donald Trump held a very good phone call before the U.S. president-elect prepares to return to the White House next week. Discussing trade, the fentanyl drug problem, and the looming ban on Chinese short video app TikTok, Trump said President Xi and I will do everything possible to make the world more peaceful and safe. Attaching great importance to mutual interactions, Xi said he hoped for a good start of the China-U.S. relationship during Trump's second term. Meanwhile, Trump's inauguration ceremony will now take place inside the U.S. Capitol due to forecasts of intense cold weather. Temperatures are expected to drop to -6 degrees Celsius. Vice President Han Zheng will attend the ceremony in Washington as Xi's special representative.